going on, everyone? So news came out earlier today that the Charlotte Hornets are looking to trade Joshua Okogie in the next day or two. Otherwise, they're going to potentially buy him out. He has $7.7 million on his contract that is non-guaranteed that they could end up buying out, and then he could go sign somewhere. But they prefer to kind of trade him and maybe get something in return. Now, I want to do a video breaking down Joshua Okogie on a potential buyout if that was an option, because I do think that it's somebody that the Lakers should look at, right? 6'4", 6'5", versatile guard with a 7-foot wingspan that can defend 1 through 3. It's what the Lakers need. A guy that can be that point of attack, be that relentless, kind of just defensive piece, right? Start adding those kind of guys. Okogie shooting the basketball, right? The 3 and D part, not really a great three-point shooter, but he is slotted alongside Luka and LeBron, so the quality of looks that he would get could potentially elevate him more. But I want to do a more in-depth breakdown into Okogie later in a later video. In this video, I want to talk about the potential of kind of doing this consolidation trade. Lakers are looking to do a consolidation trade because they need to clear some salary as well as want to kind of clear a roster spot or two. And I've talked about, I don't want to see the Lakers go and make a trade to just unload somebody, right? I don't want to see the Lakers, here's Gabe Vincent and 3 pick swaps, thanks for doing business, right? Or here's a second and some pick swaps, thanks for doing business. I'd rather see the Lakers kind of do the consolidation trade within the mix of getting a player. Now, you might ask, well, Tyler, if they're going to waive Okogie, probably better off just waiting for that to happen and then signing him for free. But again, it's not so much about trading for the singular player. Yes, you could get Okogie for free, or you can do a consolidation trade, get Okogie, and then also go get other pieces, right? I've talked about it on the potential with a Marcus Smart, because Marcus Smart, he may end up getting bought out. A lot of talks about that potential. He's making $20 million. So it's like, okay, well, do the Lakers go trade for him, maybe clear off now 2 roster spots and $4 or $5 million to free up the biannual, and then they can bring in 2 or 3 guys. Well, you could do Okogie, but it's on a much cheaper, more digestible scale. So you get a guy in Okogie that actually helps and is beneficial to the Lakers, a guy that can be that point of attack defensive guy off the bench. Again, shooting-wise, bit of a concern. Defensively, he's great, right? Defensively, he's a guy that can defend multiple positions and I think could be a real kind of quality piece. The kind of guy that the Lakers need, particularly at the guard position. Play either guard spot, can even slot in and play the 3 because he has that wingspan, kind of give you that versatility, right? So you could do something like, say, I don't know how heavy they would go, but you could do something with even just a clearing salary trade, right? So if the Lakers wanted to, you could do a Gabe Vincent for Josh Okogie, maybe give up a piece, but then now you clear $4.5 million off your books that now frees up the biannual exception, and then you can still waive a guy in Shake Milton, and now you clear enough money to get that expiring or that bet minimum guy, as well as freeing that up, and then you can, if you need to open up more roster spots, you can do so in the process. Or if Charlotte is willing to work with you, maybe you could go and get another piece, right? I've talked about, can you get a Miles Bridges? Maybe you're doing a bigger trade and you're doing a 3 or 4 for 1 swap. They really want Dalton Connect. What if you could get a Miles Bridges and a Joshua Okogie, right? So that way they're getting some value for Okogie, kind of doing this swap, and you're sending out, Rui Hachimura, Dalton Connect, and a Gabe Vincent, clearing off some roster spots, but you just solved your starting 3 position, and you just got a quality backup on top of freeing up a roster spot, clearing cap space. Oh, and also you could waive Shake Milton. So you could essentially, if you're the Lakers and you play this right, you could end up with one, maybe multiple players, right? Let's say best case scenario, you get a Miles Bridges and a Joshua Okogie. Well, you just got Joshua Okogie, Miles Bridges, you're waiving Shake Milton, and now let's say you do sign a Bradley Beal, and then let's say Nikola Vucevic ends up getting bought out, is rumored to happen, and then now you get Vu, right? So now you turn, yes, Rui connecting Gabe Vincent, you could argue Shake Milton too, those 4 for a Miles Bridges, Joshua Okogie, Nikola Vucevic, and a Bradley Beal. You just upgraded at all of those positions and kind of solved all of your, or most of your needs, right? So again, I'd like to see the Lakers kind of be creative in that sense. You're seeing all these potential guys, and I'm sure that there will be more. I mean, even Lakers have a guy in Jordan Goodwin, who I don't really want the Lakers to buy out, but he has a non-guaranteed through till January, right? I don't think Jordan Goodwin is so good you can't buy him out. I just think it depends, right? If you can keep Jordan Goodwin, I like to keep Jordan Goodwin, but that could be an option as well, right? So he's on a partial guarantee. So maybe you're doing something where you're, like I said, you're sending Gabe Vincent out for Joshua Okogie and just doing a salary dump. So you clear, like I mentioned, like $4.5 million. Now you free up that, you waive Jordan Goodwin, you waive Shake Milton. Now you open up 2 roster spots that also now allow you, because, I mean, you could argue Joshua Okogie gives you everything that Jordan Goodwin does, right? Like, he gives you the defense. Both guys are kind of poor 3-point shooters, right? But you kind of offset that, but you're also opening up the spots and freeing up the money in order to go make other moves. Like I said, a Bradley Beal or Nikola Vucevic or Marcus Smart if he gets bought out, right? And Joshua Okogie still gives you all those things that the Lakers need, gives you that point of attack guy. Also, if you get a guy in a Joshua Okogie, you now can kind of use that as leverage in various trades. Because it's like, hey, we would, Matisse Thybulle, for example, let's use him as an example. It's like, okay, I would love to have Matisse Thybulle, but if you're not willing to compromise and come to a good resolution on him, then we'll just ride with Joshua Okogie, right? I made the argument with like the center position and so on and so forth. If the Lakers can solve some of those needs, well, then now you're not in a position of desperation. Teams are looking at the Lakers like, what do they need, right? Before it was centers. So you heard all the reports were like, teams are trying to fleece the Lakers at the center position. Teams are trying to get the Lakers to overpay for a center because they're looking at the Lakers as desperate. They're looking at the Lakers like, you don't have a center. You need a center. Guess what? We have a center. It's going to cost you. You want it? You can have it. Well, now, because of DeAndre Ayton, that has shifted. But now what are teams looking at? Oh, you need perimeter defense. You need 3-and-D wings, right? So now somebody like, Miami's like, you want Andrew Wiggins, it's going to cost you. You're going to have to overpay for Andrew Wiggins, right? Well, even a Matisse Thybulle, right? What are they looking for Matisse Thybulle? In a perfect world, you could just kind of swap guys, but that might not be the case. Well, if you go get a guy in a Okogie, it's like, hey, we solved one of those needs, right? Thybulle and Okogie, similar kind of comps, right? Thybulle's been the much better 3-point shooter the last few years, but he's also doesn't have a history. Like, it's just kind of had like a 2 out of 3 year span where he's been much improved shooting the 3 ball, right? That's one of those questions. Can he kind of continue to shoot the 3 ball that way? Well, if not, well, we got Okogie, right? So look, we'd still love a Matisse Thybulle. We're still willing to go and trade for Matisse Thybulle, but it's got to be within reason. It's got to make sense, right? Because Okogie, again, he's 26. So he's a guy that fits the timeline, could be in the rotation, be part of the roster, give you that defense, give you that point of attack, give you everything that you're looking for from what the Lakers need, and then also giving you that bargaining chip that like, hey, we want this guy, but we don't now we don't need this guy. We have him and Jared Vanderbilt and other things. Right? Yes, we love Matisse Thybulle, but the injury history, his 3-point shooting, is that sustainable? It's one thing to have a good year. It's another thing to regularly reach that height, right? And it's like, well, if he's going to be injured and he's not going to shoot the 3 ball, well, then we might as well just ride with Okogie, unless we can get your guy for a reasonable price, unless you're willing to kind of work with us on the price. So again, it just kind of gives the Lakers a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to be something where teams are going to go, oh, here, just take my guy for free, right? But it is something that I think the Lakers can now leverage. I look at things like Okogie, and it doesn't have to necessarily be Okogie. You could just wait for him to get bought out, but Lakers need to do a consolidation trade. They have to. They have to unload some guys, clear some salary, and ideally some roster spots. Bare minimum, have to clear some salary because you do have 2 guys you can waive if that right player comes along, right? So you can waive those 2 guys in Jordan Goodwin and a Shake Milton, and then that frees up that. But even if you do that, you have to have the money in order to fill in those spots, right? Well, again, if you, instead of, hey, you want to get something back from Okogie, you want something of value, right? Well, then here, help us do this. We'll give you, some pick swaps or something like that. Lakers now get back a player that makes sense, but also clear off the salary. Again, it's not just the singular trade. It's not, don't look at it through a keyhole of like, oh, Lakers just swapped Gabe Vincent for Okogie. No, they swapped Gabe Vincent for Okogie, but that frees up the cap space necessary in order to make the move. So if Bradley Beal does become available and the Lakers really want him like they're rumored to, right now the Lakers can't sign him. But now if you do that, boom, waive Shake Milton, Bradley Beal, you're in, and then you can go to the next step. Now you can figure out, okay, what's next? Okay, we got Bradley Beal now, we got Joshua Okogie, right? So those that can be our backcourt for us, because you could have Austin Reeves, Luka, and LeBron. Okay, boom, we got the backcourt locked up. Now let's go work on that next thing, right? What else do we need? Okay, let's be patient, because now it gives you the patience now to get into and wait and find the next move, right? Again, you have Jordan Goodwin. You can waive him all the way till January. So there's no rush in him. Where if that guy does come on, let's say Nikola Vucevic does becoming available, and it's like, okay, well, we can just waive Jordan Goodwin, bring in a Nikola Vucevic, and now we solve our center position too. So now we have our backup and our starter and everything else. Boom. And then again, go to the next step. It just kind of gives the Lakers more time to continue to make moves and be patient, right? Let things develop rather than like, okay, well, what's the alternative? Or you're doing a consolidation trade just to do a consolidation trade. I'd rather get a player back that makes sense for the Lakers. Rather get a guy like in a Josh Okogie who's just like a bigger Gabe Vincent and, can defend multiple positions rather than just like, oh, here's Gabe and the same assets and thanks for the roster spot. And it's like, you still need to fill that spot. And Okogie could be a guy that fills that spot. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.